Welcome to Secrets of the Night Channel. If you love engaging and emotional love stories, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any interesting stories. In today's video, we would like to present to you a story called Sexy Sister-in-Law, narrated by Jane. Please follow along. Layla is entering her teenage years. At this age, she clearly feels the changes inside her. A new desire seems to be rising strongly. She lives with her husband William and her brother-in-law Levi in a small rented room in the city. William, a quiet man with a potbelly, rarely pays attention to his wife's feelings and desires. For a long time, Layla felt the lack of romance and novelty in her married life. On a warm April afternoon, Layla was cleaning the house when Levi walked in from outside. He had just returned from college, looking energetic and youthful. "Layla, I'm home," Levi shouted, his voice full of energy. Layla looked up and smiled gently. "Are you tired from studying today?" "It's okay, sis. There are a lot of group assignments at school, but I do them quickly." Levi put his bag down on the table and stretched. His eyes met his sister-in-law's. Layla felt the youthful freshness from her brother-in-law, and sometimes his presence made her forget the boredom in her current life. "Are you hungry? Let me make you something to eat," Layla asked kindly. "Yes, I'm a little hungry too. Let me help you cook." Levi quickly walked over and took the ingredients out of the refrigerator. Layla smiled. "Okay, you help me make noodles. It's simple, but we can eat together for fun." Levi nodded as his sister-in-law prepared the meal. The small but warm gestures made Layla feel comfortable in the small kitchen. The two cooked and chatted together, forgetting the cramped space of the room. After the meal, Levi stood up to clean up the dishes with his sister-in-law. The small rented room made all the activities in the house naturally close. Layla was still attentively washing the dishes while Levi glanced at his sister-in-law. She had fair skin and standard curves under her thin nightgown. An indescribable feeling rose in his heart. Perhaps it was because of the youthfulness of adolescence, or perhaps because of being in contact with a mature woman like Layla for a long time. Her image had become the center of his heart. When Layla finished washing up, she turned to look at Levi. "Did you meet any new friends while studying in the city?" Layla asked in a gentle voice. "I have a few, but I'm not close to anyone," Levi replied, a bit confused. "Most of my friends at school just study and then go home right away, so we don't talk much." "Really? Back when I was young like you, I also went to school far away. The feeling of being alone with no one to talk to sometimes made me sad," Layla said with a distant look in her eyes as if remembering her youth. The two of them sat on the small chair, the close distance in the room increasing the intimate atmosphere. Layla smiled gently. Her eyes accidentally turned to Levi's muscular arms. Layla suddenly swallowed. A fleeting thought flashed through her mind, but she quickly dismissed it. However, her gaze still left a strange feeling in Levi's heart. Layla." Levi hesitated slightly, wanting to change the topic to dispel the strange feeling between the two of them. "Where's William?" "I'm at work. I'll probably be back late from the day shift today," Layla replied. The smile on her lips was gentle, but her eyes seemed to suggest something that Levi wasn't sure about. In the cramped space, the silence stretched awkwardly. Layla stood up and pulled back the curtain separating the living space and the sleeping area to give them some privacy. Levi timidly lowered his head and looked around the room absent-mindedly, his hands rubbing together nervously. "I see you've been busy with school lately. You must be stressed, right?" Layla asked with a concerned look. "Whenever you have time, remember to take some time to relax. Don't let too much pressure come over you." "Yes, thank you. I try not to stress, but it's hard sometimes," Levi replied, forcing a smile. Layla sat next to Levi. Her eyes seemed to be evaluating him, making Levi a little confused. Suddenly, she gently put her hand on his shoulder naturally. The feeling under her palm was so firm, so strong. She almost rubbed his shoulder as if forgetting what she was about to say to Levi. "I've grown up. I'm not the little boy I used to be. I should take care of myself more now." Layla spoke with a caring voice. Suddenly, Levi blushed. The sudden contact made his heart beat faster. I understand. Sister. He hesitated, not daring to look into his sister-in-law's eyes. Layla smiled slightly as if she found something interesting about her young brother-in-law. She gently withdrew her hand. But she felt Levi's confusion, which made her feel a strange feeling that she herself did not understand. Okay, go to bed early. I have something to do tomorrow, so I'll probably be back a little late. You go to sleep first. Layla stood up and walked towards the wardrobe to get dressed for bed. The small space of the room made her every movement and sound clearer and more intimate. As for Levi, she stood on the other side of the curtain, starting to take off her day clothes. The soft sound of fabric as Layla pulled the shirt over her head. Then the slow zip of her dress seemed to creep into Levi's ears, making him jump slightly. Every sound became vivid and clear in that quiet space. Levi knew he shouldn't be curious, but the attraction from the blurry movements behind the curtain made his heart flutter. Layla didn't seem shy or rushed when she knew Levi was nearby. She let everything happen naturally, slowly and somewhat comfortably, unable to stop the urge. Levi gently, almost unconsciously, opened the curtain a little, just enough for him to see his sister-in-law's figure through the gap. The light from the lamp in the room shone in, creating a strangely seductive, hazy scene. Layla stood with her back to him, her hair falling over her slender shoulders, her appearance soft but full of charm. Levi tried to keep quiet, feeling his heart pounding in his chest as he watched his sister-in-law through that small gap. It seemed that Layla knew that Levi was secretly looking, but she did not turn back. She continued with gentle gestures as if she was taking Levi in every moment. Each movement exuded naturalness but brought a strong attraction. When Layla put on her soft nightgown, she glanced at the curtain, her eyes flashing with a hint of mischief. She still did not say anything, but in her heart, Layla clearly felt Levi's presence like a secret that only the two of them knew. After that night of peeking, the relationship between Layla and Levi became strange. Even though they still met every day, ate, and talked, the atmosphere between the two of them was always a bit awkward and hesitant, as if they both had something to say but were trying to hide it. One evening, when William had his night shift and the room was quieter than ever, Levi was sitting at the table studying when Layla walked over. She was wearing soft pajamas, which made Levi feel quite embarrassed. You study late. Do you have a lot of homework? Layla asked, her eyes secretly observing her brother-in-law's expression. Yes, a lot, sister, Levi replied, trying to keep his voice calm but not daring to look up. Layla looked at Levi and smiled, then sat down on the chair opposite, her eyes fixed on him. I see you've been quieter lately. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing, sister, Levi replied quickly, not daring to look straight at his sister-in-law. But his hand unconsciously clenched the notebook. If there's anything, just tell me. Don't be shy, Layla said softly and raised her hand as if to comfort Levi. Don't forget that I'm here for you. The atmosphere became tense. Levi could clearly feel his sister-in-law's breathing and gentle gaze. He was silent, his mind blank, not knowing how to respond.